Hey guys, back in the garage again. As you can see, I got it up to almost 60 degrees. I've been doing a little bit of parts cleaning in the blast cabinet, trying to get a bunch of stuff for this Jaguar rear end cleaned up and ready to go. I got the differential all cleaned up. I got a coat of primer on it finally yesterday. Got the temperature up enough in here to spray it. Here's the bottom plate, which I ran out of the black primer that I was using, trying to use to last it up, and ended up finishing it up with the gray. And here's a bunch of the different components for the rear end. The springs, those didn't come quite as clean as I would like for them to, because they were pretty rusty, but I'm not getting anything else off of them with the blaster, so I'm assuming that that's okay. Here's the components that sit down on the top of it to hold the shock absorbers in. These are some miscellaneous sheet metal plates that go on the front end of the car. Here's my door hinges. I'm going to get them in primer. I'm going to go through and rebuild them, which the bushings and stuff looked pretty rough. That one right there is broken, and I think the other one's not far behind it. But these are the better older style for the 67 cast hinges. I actually had a set that I got off eBay, but I didn't realize I'd already purchased them. I only give $10 for them, that they were the stamped versions, so they're not nearly as good a hinge. They've got a little bit different hold open system on them as opposed to the levers on these. These probably would hold up a little bit better, but unfortunately this is, like I said, the 68 style. They're more of a stamp metal, where the older style are cast. These are the ones that were originally on my car, so I'm going to clean those up, like I said, and put a coat of primer on them for now to keep them from rusting. Then whenever I get them on the car, they all go the same color as the car does, which is going to be like a dark, deep blue metallic. The upper hinges are basically about the same from year to year. They were just a standard stamp metal already. But yeah, I'm just trying to get it heated up enough in here till I can crack my door and turn my exhaust fan on so I can start spraying some paint. I'm going to be putting gloss on all of this stuff as I go. These two pieces here I got primed already. I'm going to go ahead and paint those, trying to get the temperature up with my heater. And then this other stuff, I've got it setting near it too, so once I get the metal temp up to around 70 degrees or so on it, I'm going to shut the heater itself off, turn the exhaust fan on, crack my door, so that I can get a cross breeze through here, and then we'll get all this stuff sprayed today. So I'll bring you guys back when I got something else to show you. Okay guys, I'm back. I got a package in the mail today, as I'm sure a lot of you guys did, from Darren and Andrea. You talk about awesome. Look at this. This is just killer. Great job picking out the design and everything on this, guys, and I really appreciate all the effort and everything it took for you all to go down and have these made, pick them up, get them packaged up, sent out to all of us. I really appreciate this. That took a lot of y'all's effort and time, gas. These are awesome. I got 3 of them, so my wife and I and my daughter could all wear one next time we go to the car show or the Rods Run or something. So these are just freaking super, man. I'll tell you. Let's get back here a little bit. Yeah, you talk about styling and profiling now, man. These are awesome. Nice heavyweight t-shirt. Of course, it's got all of our names on the back. I've been looking forward to this package ever since they decided they were going to have some made and get them ordered. This is tremendous. I also tried out a spray gun. I sprayed my primer just a few minutes ago. I saw Fred just hogging. He had sprayed a bunch of stuff with some of this Harbor Freight gun. That reminded me, whenever I saw him talking about it, that I had one up here in the garage that I'd bought 3 or 4 years ago, hanging up on my wall, and I'd actually forgotten I'd had it, and I had never used it, so today was the first time. Up until this point, what I'd always used on all the cars and stuff I'd sprayed up to this point was a Sharp Cobalt HVLP gun. I've had issues with this in the past though, because you can see this doesn't have a very large tip. This doesn't have a number on it like a lot of them do, like a 1.3, 1.5. This one says C-12, and then it's like a number on the inner part that says like 63. And of course, they no longer make this gun, so parts and stuff are impossible to get for it. Yeah, right here on the edge of this, I'm not sure if you guys can see it or not, it says 63, and I'm not able to find any numbers or anything on the needle itself. So, but up to this point, I've always sprayed single stage. I've never really done base coat, clear coat before, but with all that in effect, this gun right here, it's okay. I'm going to use it probably for my primer gun now. It seems like it's got a little bit larger tip on it, so I didn't have to thin my material quite as much to get everything on there. I'll take you over here and show you what I got primed. Of course, I had to close my doors and turn my heat back on, but I got all my hinges hung up and got them sprayed. Like I said, this is just kind of a stopgap measure to keep them from rusting. That's one thing I noticed about after you take something out of the blast cabinet, particularly if it's not a heated area all the time, flash rust starts to develop in just a day or so, and that was even with me wearing gloves and not touching it with my hands or anything. So the primer and everything will kind of hold these things out from rust, and once I get everything rebuilt, then they'll be ready for the color of the car. I also got my springs painted. I'll tell you, that's something that's pretty fun to spray, because you never know if you got all the surfaces or not, because you walk around it 3 times. I flipped them end for end to make sure I got the upper side and the lower side, and I probably still missed some spots. I ran out of strainers, so I'm going to have to stop spraying today. I'm going to have to stop at the paint store tomorrow and pick me up some. I've still got to flip these over and spray the top side of them, but all in all, it wasn't too bad. That gun works pretty good. Like I said, I'll use it for a primer gun. I don't think I would really want to use it for a finish gun, because I think it would be prone to running. I actually did a setup on it whenever I first turned it on. Sorry about that, the lights are kind of freaking it out. It sprays pretty good. I had to cut back on the material just a little bit. Even as thick as that primer was, I only tinted about 5%. And it's still got a couple of really pretty thick spots on it, so I opened the fan as wide as it would go, and I turned the material back a little bit and finally got it to where it sprayed halfway decent. So I think it's going to be okay. I'm just tickled to death about my shirt. I'll be putting that puppy on and wearing that the next time we go out and go somewhere. I'm sure everybody's going to be asking me, well, what's the YouTube garage? And at that point I'll have to tell them, so well, tune into YouTube and check it out. Between Darren, and all the rest of the garage gang, I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there that are going to be able to learn quite a bit from you guys. I know I sure have. That's pretty much got everything that I needed to say. One thing I did notice about this Harbor Freight gun, though, is it doesn't come with a regulator or anything on it. It's actually got the regulator built into the handle. The only problem with that is you don't know what your pressure is at the air cap. Whenever I got my Sharp gun, I actually spent the extra money. It wasn't a high-end regulator, but it's worked really well on this one. And like I said, I've sprayed 5 or 6 cars, I think, and every one of them up to this point I've sprayed has been with this gun, so they turned out pretty good. So if I was going to buy another gun, which at some point I am, I think I'm going to get one of the Segolas from Darren and Andrea to spray my base coat or my clear coat with, probably. This Cobalt will probably be okay for base coat. But I'm going to use a little bit of base coat I've got. A friend of mine gave me a bunch of paint when a automotive restoration place went out of business. I think it's all Diamond or RM, but I'm actually going to use it to kind of practice up on all my spray techniques and stuff before I get ready to spray this car. I've got a couple old hoods, a couple of fenders, and I'm going to kind of do like Rob did, Raz D Fermetta, and spray a test panel or two and kind of get my feeling down, since I've never sprayed base coat, clear coat before. So that way I won't just run it plumb off in the floor when I get ready to paint this. So with that being said, I'll turn the camera off and I'll catch you guys later. Take care.